Hello and welcome to my channel, I Win to Lose Gaming. Aemeath, the newest insanely powerful 5-star fusion resonator, has dropped in Wuthering Waves. In today's ultimate guide video, you'll learn everything you need to know about Aemeath.
Lights up! Flyers, check. Body limit unlocked. The savior rises. At your command.
Apparently, ghosts do exist in the form of pop star idols who also happen to be mecha pilots with laser swords. Aemeath's animations are, frankly, nothing short of absolute insanity, and so is her damage output under the right circumstances. Aemeath is an incredibly powerful fusion main DPS character who is designed to work on two different archetypes of teams: Toon Rupture teams and Fusion Burst teams. Quick note, this video was filmed on the media server and things may be subject to change upon the official release. Please check the comments below to see if anything changed. As usual, we'll go through her kit, rotations, echoes and stats, weapons, sequences, teams, showcases, and finally, my opinion on Aemeath at the end of the video.
Blade cleaves the night. Herald, burst in light.
Oh my god, Aemeath's kit is something that, frankly, only Professor Mornier could understand. Fortunately, Assistant Professor I Win to Lose is here to attempt to put her kit in the most digestible format so that you'll at least be able to use her. Aemeath has two forms. She has her Knight form, where she's human-shaped, and she has her Mecha formed, where she's Lego-shaped. Aemeath also has two Forte bars. The bottom Forte bar is called Synchronization Rate, although I'll just be calling it the bottom Forte bar, and the 4 star-like things are called Resonance Rate, but I'll just be calling them Forte stars. Aemeath's goal is to use her Liberation to get 4 stars, and spend those stars, which lets her use her Liberation 2, which just casually summons a godlike Lego mecha to obliterate her enemies. Now you might get overwhelmed by her two states, Knight form and Lego form, but fortunately they are actually nearly identical in practice, just that one looks much more painful to step on. You can freely swap between the forms with her Resonance skill. Both forms have a pretty standard normal attack string with 4 parts, and her normal attack string generates your bottom Forte bar. She also has an enhanced resonance skill, which has the following properties. First, she needs to have at least 100 out of her 200 bottom Forte bar in order to execute her enhanced resonance skill. Second, she needs to then perform her normal attack 4. And now, with either form, she can perform an enhanced resonance skill, which basically swaps her between her two forms, generates a Forte star, deals a solid amount of damage, all while looking absolutely fantastic. Next, we have her Liberation, which is split into 2 parts, starting with her Liberation 1,
Starlight over the seas. Scorch through the void.
where using it after her intro skill will generate 2 Forte stars, and regardless of what form you were in, Liberation 1 will put her into Mech form, which enables the next part of her kit, which is her Enhanced Heavy Attack. In either human or mecha form, when she has 4 of her Forte stars, she can now use an Enhanced Heavy Attack to consume those 4 Forte stars, which finally allows her to use her Giant Robot Smash Liberation 2. So yeah, while she has 2 forms, because those 2 forms are functionally identical, it ends up being a little easier to grasp because of that. Anyway, while this might look overwhelming at first, fortunately her rotation is smooth, and all of this will make a lot more sense once we actually put all the Lego pieces together. Now in her talent page, you can toggle her between Resonance Mode Toon Rupture and Resonance Mode Fusion Burst. The TLDR for this is that you'll want her to be on Toon Rupture mode for Toon Rupture teams, aka if she's with Mornier or Linné. At the moment though, her Fusion Burst team isn't complete, but that team will likely consist of Chisa plus a future Fusion Burst character. If you're wondering what Fusion Burst is, it's basically the fusion damage over time effect / debuff. Now what exactly does she gain from each of these? Basically just a lot of additional damage in some form or another for being played in these respective team comps with the proper characters. It's honestly really convoluted and complicated, but you honestly don't need to worry too much about the details. Just know that she is strongly designed to be played with other characters that focus on either Toon Rupture or Fusion Burst. Her outro skill also actually provides some damage amplification for both of her teammates as well, which is pretty unique for a main DPS character like herself. And while I could literally spend an hour diving into every detail, I think this is a good stopping point because this will be enough information for you to actually use her properly. For her talent priority, prioritize her liberation, then her forte. After that, her basics, skill, and lastly, her intro.
At your command.
Okay, while her kit is honestly pretty convoluted, fortunately, her rotation is quite smooth. Just intro her onto the field and perform her basics 3 and 4. Use Liberation 1, and then she'll be in her mecha form, and use mecha basics 2 to 4. Now you can use her enhanced skill to change back to Knight form, and perform Knight form basics 2 to 4. Then use enhanced skill again to change back to mecha form, and this will give you the final 4th Forte star, where you can finally perform her enhanced heavy attack, which finally lets you use her Liberation 2. You can also pretty much use her echo whenever, and then obviously you outro her off the field. And for a quick full team rotation with both Mornier and Linné, here is a good starting point. This one is of course with Mornier's opener rotation, where you would replace the basics 1 through 3 plus heavy with an intro for follow-up rotations. Also, let me know if you find these full team rotations helpful. And one last tip I do have for Aemeath is that you can actually use Toon Break to skip ahead to her basic 3 when she's in Rupture mode.
Cleaves the night. Herald, burst in light.
We've made it to Aemeath's Echoes, and stats. And you guessed it, with a new 5-star resonator comes a new echo set. This one being the Trailblazing Star. The Trailblazing Star is tailor-made for her, with a 2-piece set bonus providing 10% fusion damage, and the 5-piece set bonus providing 20% crit rate and 20% fusion damage bonus for 8 seconds. Just make sure you remember that it provides 20% crit rate if you're trying to balance her crit ratio. As usual though, you'll want to run the typical 4-3-3-1-1 setup, with the main equipped echo being a Sigillum, another fellow LEGO creature that provides 25% resonance liberation damage, specifically just to Aemeath. For the main stat, crit damage tends to be the way to go, thanks to the 20% crit rate provided by the echo set bonus. For the 3-cost echoes, it's the usual recommendation of Fusion plus Fusion, or Fusion plus Attack percent. Both of these basically being the same for her, with Fusion plus Attack percent barely eking out ahead. As usual though, Attack is a bit worse. And lastly, for the 1-cost echoes, she's an attack scaler, so it's the usual Attack percent main stat. Needless to say, you can use another echo set in the meantime, like the 5-piece Molten Rift, but as usual, I recommend farming the new echo set. For her energy regen stat, generally around 15 to 20% will cover most of her teams. So as usual for the substat priority, get enough energy regen, around 15 to 20%, and then get as many crit substats as you can, with attack percent being fantastic too. And finally, liberation damage is a pretty solid choice on her, since most of her damage is liberation damage, and of course flat attack isn't useless either.
At your command.
We made it to Aemeath's weapons, and breaking news, her signature laser sword, the ever-bright Polestar, is her best option, and it's significantly better than her other options. Besides her signature, the Emerald of Genesis, the Red Spring, and the Blazing Brilliance are all perfectly usable on her. Next we have the Battle Pass weapon, the Feather Edge, which I only recommend if you can refine it up to Refinement 5. After that, unfortunately, I can't really recommend the other options, but here are the calcs for the other weapons in this chart.
Cleaves the night. Herald, burst in light.
And for those of you who made a fortune off of selling vacuum cleaners to Luigi to vacuum up ghosts, like Aemeath, well, we've got Aemeath's spooky sequences and invest in priority. Aemeath's Sequence 1 provides a lot of quality of life features, such as increasing the damage of her heavy attacks while also providing suction power if you hold the slow versions of them. She can also front load an enhanced heavy attack that, instead of enabling her Liberation 2, restores some of her Forte bar. And finally, she'll work better in multi-wave content with her Sequence 1, since she's able to transfer some of her effects to the next enemy. Sequence 2 basically makes her enhanced resonance skill do a lot more damage, and she gains a massive damage boost from from her sequence 2. Aemeath's sequence 3 is also pretty insane because not only does her liberation now deal a ton more damage, her sequence 3 also allows her to be played outside of Lene plus Mornay teams. Sequence 4 basically gives everyone on the team a modest damage boost, and sequence 5 gives her a cheat death mechanic, but really it's a stepping stone for her sequence 6, which does a lot of stuff, but it just basically makes her do a ton of damage. So, yeah, her sequences are kind of ridiculous, with her sequences 2, 3, and 6 being the big ones. Personally, I would go for her signature weapon first, and then if you plan to continue to invest into her, her sequence 2 is amazing, and her sequence 3 is also amazing, and it's a good stopping point. Here are the calcs for her sequences, feel free to take a look at them. Now by now, I think you've realized that Aemeath's teams are fairly straightforward. She has 2 main team archetypes, and on her release, the Toon Rupture team is complete with Mornay and Lene, and this is definitely her most recommended team as of her release. She's of course still usable with her Toon Rupture playstyle with just one of them, like this Aemeath, Lupa, and Mornay team. Or if you don't have Mornay but you have Lene, then you can slap Shorekeeper on the team instead. As for Fusion Burst Aemeath, it's definitely behind at the moment since it's probably missing the 3rd slot. However, Chisa at the moment is the best option for Fusion Burst Aemeath, and perhaps in the future the 3rd slot will round out this team. And yes, you can also use Lene on this team for Fusion Burst. Outside of that though, it's not looking good without either Toon Rupture or Fusion Burst supports, but you can try something with Lupa and Chongli. Sequence 3 of course will unlock her potential for a team like this. Here we go, we've got some showcases for Aemeath, and let me tell you, she feels like an incredible DPS character to use. Everything about her just feels so satisfying in my opinion, ranging from her animations as well as to how fluid her playstyle is overall despite like how complicated her kit might be. It's not too difficult to actually use her in practice, and we can see here that now with her full team, Aemeath, Mornay, as well as Lene, and I feel like if you say the 3 of their names quickly, it feels like a tongue twister. But yeah, so you've got the contrast between her Knight mode, where it's like more like elegant and human shaped, and then we have her Mecha mode, which is, you know, more cool and robot shaped. And both versions of her actually feel fantastic to use and feel very powerful, and it honestly feels like peanut butter and jelly when it comes to combining the 2 of them. And look at that, oh my god, 680,000 damage with an S0R1 team. I mean, absolutely bonkers. Nuke at the end with the giant robot smash attack, and it is absolutely crazy. I think she has basically reached a new level of power in Wuthering Waves, and yeah, finally having the last Lego piece of the puzzle for the Toon Rupture team here feels absolutely fantastic. And as you can see, Aemeath, Mornay plus Lene make a fantastic Toon Rupture core, and well, you know, yeah, I mean, you finally have all the pieces of the puzzle to make this team work, and boy does it work well. So this next team, it's a much less optimal situation. Here we have Aemeath using the Blazing Brilliance, we have Chisa, and we have Lene. Now this team is using a Fusion Burst mode just to kind of demonstrate, hey, look, obviously, you know, Aemeath can be used with Fusion Burst, even though like we don't have all 3 pieces of the puzzle, it is still quite functional. You don't need Lene either, but Lene, funnily enough, is the best character to slot in here for this. But I also wanted to demonstrate this run because you'll notice that the playstyle for Aemeath has not changed in the slightest. We're still doing the same rotation. Theoretically, maybe are there some ways you can optimize or change the rotation a bit? Honestly, I'm not entirely sure, but either way, we can see that the same exact rotation is working just fine. Literally doing the same thing as the other one. It really is just to allow Aemeath to work on another team archetype, likely to give Chisa a home besides any potential future Electro dots, but at the very least for a potential fusion dot, now Chisa has a home with Aemeath as well, assuming we ever get that fusion dot final slot of a character. But we'll have to see. But as you can see, still very capable team, even you know, with a suboptimal like team in this situation without the 3rd fusion burst character, as well as the R1 Blazing Brilliance and me messing up Chisa's rotation. Classic I win to lose moment. But now I decided, hey, let's actually activate all their S6 R5s to see the new level of whale power. And let me tell you, this absolutely honestly shocked me with how ridiculously powerful this team is. I had to go to, a different tower in order for the enemies to even survive even like half of Aemeath's rotation. But fortunately, these enemies can survive a full Aemeath rotation. Or, okay, not really. They didn't survive. But at the very least, we can see what her full rotation can do in terms of damage. So here we go. We're about to reach the giant robot smash nuke against the Morning Aex. I never know how to say that thing's name. But here we go. Here it comes, giant robot smash. Let's see how much damage she does. Actually, I already know. 4 million damage. All right, 3.95 million damage. An absolute insane nuke at whale levels of investment.
At your command.
So there you go, another ultimate guide video. This one for Aemeath. Personally, I think she looks ridiculously cool, and Kuro Games really went all out with her animations. And with all the proper Toon Rupture Lego pieces, she's a ridiculously powerful DPS character. Interestingly, she might also be solid with Chisa in the future, with a future Fusion Burst focused character, but as usual, please be cautious about future potentials. Let me know what you think about Aemeath down in the comments below. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. This is I Went to Lose, signing out.